Hi, welcome to another AMA hosted by Unicast. So I'm Benoit, and today we're diving into one of the most important aspects of career, negotiating salaries. So whether you're new to the space or looking to grow in your career, we're sure that this session will provide insightful tips. So we are joined today by Zhanna Manzyl, founder and CEO of Jaya Talent, a specialized recruitment firm in Web3. So thank you for joining us today, Zhanna. How are you doing today?
I am amazing. Saying hi to you from India. I came to spend few weeks here to meet Web3 founders.
That's perfect. So Zhanna has years of experience placing top talents in crypto and blockchain roles. So she'll be sharing insight today on how to navigate the salary discussion, getting paid for what you're worth, and avoiding the common pitfall. So, if you are new to Unicast, a quick intro: we are building the first Web3 job board fully integrated with Telegram. So, we are helping professionals discover, apply, and share jobs within the Web3 space. We are now working with over 120 projects, and we have a thriving communities of plus 20K Web3 professionals. As a reminder, by the way, on 5th February at 2 p.m. UTC, we'll be launching our token, UCAST, and we'll be having it as a fair launch. So this will be the best way for our community to be able to participate. It be on the base network and available on Uniswap. So stay tuned for the launch. We'll be sharing as well a lot more infos in the coming days. So today's session on how to navigate the salary negotiation in Web3 and crypto jobs will cover the compensation, how it works in Web3, the best strategies for salary negotiation, and the common mistake to avoid. So as always, this AMA will be recorded. Don't worry if you miss any part of it. And as always, feel free to share your questions in the chat. We'll get as many covered as possible during this AMA. So, Zhanna, welcome again. Really appreciate you joining us today. Before we dive into the specific question, would you like to introduce yourself a bit and share about your journey into Web3 and recruitment?
Sure. Thank you so much, guys, for having me. Hi, everyone. I want to start with quick intro about my engagement with Unicast.ai. So I remember during Token last year, I met the co-founder at some side event. And when I heard for the first time about what you guys built, it was an amazing idea. And I am really happy that we have genuine founders, genuine team who are building this kind of project, especially in Web3 talent market. So wish you the best with token launch and community building. So about my background, originally I'm from Ukraine. For the last 4 years, I live in Dubai, spend a lot of time in India. And I started my recruitment journey 8 years ago. And for the last 8 years, I'm working with startups. 5 years ago, I learned trading, like swing trading, fundamental technical analysis. I was thinking I can be a trader. And I remember the chairman of group of companies, he told me, Zhanna, if you want to cry whole life, you can be a trader. But in case if you want to be an investor, then you should continue doing recruitment, learn more about teams, but in Web3 space. It's how I moved to Dubai. And we work with the largest names like Binance, Animoca Brands Portfolio, CDFI. Now we are working with clients like ex-co-founder of GSR, for example, Yellow Network, with a lot of launch pads. We are hiring a bunch of people for the last 1 year for Mario Nafal project. I guess everyone knows who is Mario Nafal. Yeah, I'm very excited about this space. I do invest in crypto. I do trading, and I just love this space and the speed and people. So I think if you have option to be in Web3 and crypto, even like not full time, even part time, then you should explore this option.
Perfect. Thank you for the introduction. So to dive directly, coming from your experience in the recruitment process, when does Web3 companies usually start talking about the package? is it often at the same step as in the traditional industry?
Yeah, actually, it's similar to traditional industry. For example, in our case, we are working as an agency, so we always ask salary expectation if it's middle level. During our chat, for example, it can be LinkedIn or Telegram. If it's C level, then we will not ask this during, LinkedIn, Telegram chat, but we can ask over a call. Then we are having first conversation with candidate like 30 minutes, 1 hour. Then we will ask about, for example, your last salary. In case if you can disclose, then it will be great. About your salary expectations, about your current tax system, if you're paying any taxes, if you have some bonuses, token allocation, etc. And then we will be submitting your application to the client, and if they like, they can proceed. In case of founders and recruiters, let's say if they are not working with agency and they are doing hiring by themselves, then some of them maybe they will ask you when you will be submitting application, please mention your salary expectation. But most of them they will ask you this during the call. Yeah, but it's pretty similar to traditional industry.
Okay, that's good to know. And as currently it's mostly a bull market, what are the main trends that you are seeing into salaries into this space? Is it increasing or is it still stable? From, for example, a bear market, are you seeing specific trends currently?
Yeah, I will start with that yesterday I spoke with one of my friend. His company Huddle 01. So they do something like Zoom, but in blockchain. So, and we discussed this, meme trends, and looks like everyone is making money, but the reality is that investors, they are not investing in startups. They're investing, in some tokens, etc. So we have this, how can I explain? Not real picture that like this market is really like bull market, because investors they are not deploying money, and if you don't have a lot
Mm.
of money, then founders they will be giving you more, let's say, token allocation, less fixed part. But in general, if we compare to COVID time, that yes, salaries are much better, and especially because we have a lot of institutions coming to Web3. So in general, let's say for developers, the range will be between 75K to 165K in a year. Then for community managers, it will be between 30 to 80K. And for business developers with bonuses, in average, it's 40, 100K. Most of jobs, they will have tokens equity. And now we see trend that a lot of founders they're giving more tokens, but actually you should be careful because it means that there is poor token economics. And people who are having skills like smart contracts, DeFi, memes, like now it's a lot of hype. If you are good with personal branding and if you have experience, let's say in BD, and you work with institutions, then most probably you will have better salary.
Okay. So do you think that currently when we take the average Web2 and the average Web3 companies, that package is still higher in Web2 companies, or is it becoming to around the same level, or are actually Web3 companies on average paying better when we take just purely, for example, the salary part, excluding the any token compensation?
So in general, Web3 salaries are much better compared to traditional market. For example, for developers and financial folks, usually they can earn more than, let's say, plus 20, 50% if we compare to traditional tech roles. Then, yes, like you will have on the top token and equity, but actually token and equity, if you're planning to get like rich, and if you know this guy Naval Ravikant, I really respect him. He's early investor in Uber, Bolt, and he's the founder of well-found angel list, ex angel list. So he mentioned that if you want to be rich, you need to create wealth and you need to have some part of the company. In Web3 case, it's about token in equity. And if you will work with the right company, with right founders and ethical founders, then you have all chances to have, I don't know, apartment in Dubai or car, whatever you want. Then let's say about like global pay standards. For example, if you work from lower cost country, uh, you still can earn the same salary like folks from US or Europe markets. And in Web3, you will have very unique benefits. For example, you can have governance tokens. It means that you can vote. You can have voting rights in the project. You can have crypto bonuses. You can have access to very exclusive blockchain communities. Companies will be paying for your travel, and if you had a chance to visit some Web3 events, you will be like very happy because it's much more fun than traditional, finance events.
Yeah, it's a very good incentivization in this space to be able to offer token compensation and have actually people that you are working with be more engaged as they have a skin in the game. So let's say, for example, that a person has soon an interview with a Web3 company. So you gave a few numbers about salaries. How do you think a candidate should research the market or benchmark the rates for Web3 roles? Do you have any resource or that you are using to know the benchmark or the average salary for someone to be prepared for his next interview?
Yes, sure. For example, if the person is looking forward to have a job in tier one project, for example, Binance, Kraken, etc., then in most of cases you can visit Glassdoor, and there you will have a lot of data based on different departments. But sometime if it's like smaller project and you don't have a lot of data from Glassdoor, then what you can do, you can go to crypto job list. They have good data. Then you can check Web3 career. I know they're posting some data as well. You can check, if you have few friends, recruiters in Web3 space, or maybe agencies, and you build with them good connection, then you can ask them as well for the range. And also you can join some Web3 communities, Discord or Telegram, and ask folks, hey guys, like I'm planning to have this kind of job, and you can write what kind of skill set they are looking and what is your skill set. And you can ask like, what do you think, what will be the salary range? Even Perplexity and ChatGPT like is showing in most of cases right data.
Yes, I agree. And as well, I think the knowledge is more accessible in Web3 space. So there are a lot of, for example, groups on Telegram about like people doing marketing in Web3 or the blockchain space. So I think joining, for example, those group and asking, I think most of the people would be receptive and be able to share some tips as well in a more organic way. So when taking, for example, a person coming from the Web2 industry, should they expect usually the same level of package if it's their first experience into Web3?
Um, so in most of cases, like fixed part, it will be very similar. I mean, the base part, it will be very similar to
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
traditional, but bonuses, they will be maybe like less, and most probably they will not have token allocation or equity. But especially if they're coming from, let's say, like banking background or some institutional background, and a lot of DeFi projects, they are looking for this kind of people because then you will have some um, good, solid team, and most probably you will attract better investments if you will have just people from Web3. So people from Web2,
Mm.
they're like really in demand.
Okay, that's good to know. And usually, how can candidates highlight their value when discussing compensation? Is it would it be different, for example, for someone in a technical role or someone for a non-technical role, or should they usually highlight the same aspect, for example, their technical skills or years of experience, or their involvement, for example, in Web3 project. What do you think is the best way or the best thing to highlight in this specific stage of hiring process?
Sure. So, for example, if you're a developer and you have maybe you're just from Web2 and you did some pet projects, or you're already in Web3 and you did some contributions to the ecosystem. So you always can share GitHub link. You always can share, some contributions that you already did, or maybe some pet projects that you work with your friends. Even if you don't have any commercial experience, still the founder can access link or like his tech team and check quality of your skills. Because often I heard when people they are saying, "Oh, I want to move to Web3 and crypto."
Yeah.
Then when you're asking them, "Okay, what you did? What did you learn something?" And they're like, "No, not yet." So you always need, to prove, because then you're faking, like you don't want to Web3. Maybe you're not very excited about this. You're just there for money. And people who are going to Web3 just for money, they will be broken because of the bad market, or they will jump to another hype. Let's say there will be AI, maybe something else. So founders, they always looking for someone who are for long in this industry. Then if you have some very unique skills, for example, now we have memes. If you already work with memes and you're into marketing or BD, then most probably you will have better salary. Or if you have a lot of experience with DeFi projects, or if you have some traditional background, and you're planning to join some DeFi project, then like you will have better options. Or let's say if they are hiring you for C-level role and you have very good personal brand, maybe you're a speaker at some conferences, or you're hosting some Twitter spaces, you have YouTube channel, whatever will help company to to have better presence, then they will pay you more. It's why I always highlight that you always should have good LinkedIn and Twitter. Even if you don't have Twitter now, please create, post something. Even if you don't know what to post, just start with something, follow some other leaders, and when people will say, okay, like you're doing something great with time, then they will remember. And next time, if founder will be looking for talent, he will remember your face.
Yeah, I do agree. Personal branding is very important in this space. Do you know of other leverage point that a candidate can use when negotiating his salary? So, for example, do you think that mentioning being in other recruitment process would be a good leverage to use, or would that be a bit risky?
It's always good because it's like, in this dating world, when you see the girl or boy in demand, you want like this person to have, as a your partner. The same in Web3. Let's say if you will mention that I already have few conversation with few different companies. Some of them they're like in initial stage, some of them in final stages, and I will take my decision, let's say end of February. Then it will put you in better position. Companies, they will not think, oh, like you're so desperate about job, because if they will see that you are not confident, you don't have any options, then they will play with you, they will give you less salary, because they will think, okay, there are a lot of candidates, you don't have any options. Even if you don't have any options, still, like, please mention that you're talking to some companies. Even you can mention that now I'm in talk with 3 companies, and average package that I'm discussing with them is, let's say, 50, 80K plus token allocation. So total will be like near 80K, for example. Then it will put you in better position.
Yeah, that's a very good leverage to use. So obviously in Web3 we have token. What are the most benefits, the most common benefits offered in Web3 roles besides salary? Do you see compensation, for example, like 70% in stable coins and 30% in tokens? Or have you seen as well companies that do not have a token themselves offering tokens from other projects or companies?
Yes, so in most of cases, they always give you token. and it will be like 70-30%, 70 base, 30% token. But usually they are giving this for C-level folks, or let's say after some time. For let's say if it's community manager, or maybe if the company is super big, then maybe they will not give you a lot of tokens. It depends on their token economics. But
Okay.
for business development folks, they will give always fixed and bonus part. It's not very common when they are giving token allocation, only for C-level, if it's like chief business development officer. For chief marketing, chief operation officer, chief executive officer, there is always token allocation or equity. For community managers, it can be mixed. For developers, usually they give fix, but if it's like solid project, for example, from DeFi place, in most of cases they are given token allocation. And about other benefits, for sure it's like flexible remote work options. And now when I say flexible remote, for example, in traditional market, remote, it means that you should be, let's say, in Dubai and you should work remotely, or like let's say in UAE. But in crypto you can be, I don't know, in Thailand, in China, in India, and be flexible with working hours. Then you can have bonuses in fiat or crypto, and also they can pay for conference, they can pay for hackathons if you're a developer.
Okay. And do you think a project, for example, would be offering a bit too much percentage of token in a compensation would be a red flag, or is it something common?
From our experience, if they're offering a lot of tokens, it means that like it can be few points. Maybe poor token economics. Sometimes it happens. Then you should be careful because this project maybe will not survive
Yes.
for long. Or maybe founders, they don't have money, and whatever they can give only in tokens, or let's say more tokens. Then it's also a red flag. So you always need to check what is their token economics, community, how many people they have, what kind of reputation, background founders have. And also you can just, ask them, okay, like in most of cases, when I spoke with different startups, they are giving less tokens. I just want to understand why you guys are giving more tokens. Like, it's like some reason. Just be honest with them, and founders will appreciate it.
Yeah. So that's a lot of information for someone who doesn't have prior experience at all in Web3. What would you advise them to learn or to do to be able to negotiate confidently this specific part about the token compensation?
So first you need to understand what is token economics. Even like basic stuff, it will help you. Then you need to know about vesting period and cliff. It means that once founders will give you some tokens, when you can sell those tokens, maybe after 1 year, you can sell only some part of, let's say, maybe 20% of the token. And it will help you because now we have bull market, everything is good, and when they tell you, okay, now you have fixed salary, let's say 3K per month USD, and on the top you will have like 2K in tokens monthly. And because
Yeah.
now tokens, they worth 2K, but after 1 year, what will happen? Because it's high risk and maybe it will be bad market. So you always need to understand that what they're offering you now maybe will be not true after some time. It's why you need to join very solid project with good founders, good vision, and founders who are not overspending money. Because from my experience, there are a lot of founders, when they have money, they keep spending, and once it's bad market, then like they keep firing people. So you don't want to be in this kind of company and situation, because once they will fire you, it will be
Mhm.
super tough to find job in bad market. So always do research.
Yeah, I do agree. Especially if your compensation has a large chunk of token, cliff investing is very important, so not to be overlooked. Um, so What's one mistake do you see candidates often make when negotiating their salary?
So in most of cases, I found that, let's say, if founder is offering token allocation, they are not able to understand value of the token. I know it's
Yeah,
not their mistake. It's in general about education, crypto adoption, etc. So it will take some time. But if you can understand the value of the token, and if founders see that, okay, the guy is understanding value of the token, then he will be more interested to work with you for long, because token allocation, it's like equity. It means that the guy will be there for long, and he will be
yeah.
loyal to the company, etc. And also, second mistake, it's when you're accepting offer without understanding token economics or vesting schedule. And sometime, conditions can be not the best for you, but because you don't understand this, you will accept. And after some time, it can be, some painful experience, let's say. It's why you need to have few friends, lawyers, or maybe crypto recruiters, like solid crypto recruiters, who are very deep into this and who can advise you, or who can just double check your contract with the company.
Yeah. And in the cases that, for example, during a talk with a recruiter, if the recruiter or the company asks the candidate directly, what would be your salary expectation? And that in the case that they didn't mention at all any compensation in the job description, what do you think would be a good strategy in this specific case? Would it be to give a very precise number or to give a range, for example?
Yeah, so some founders, they really don't have a salary range. So because the role is new and they don't know what is happening in the market. So
Yeah.
they will say, what is happening with applications, different expectation, experiences, and they will decide. Sometimes founders, they know, but they mention to recruiters that we can't share those numbers. So, in any cases, I always suggest to share real numbers. For example,
Hmm.
you can mention that my previous salary was this kind of amount, and now I'm looking like increase. It can be 20%, or you can mention now I am speaking with five different companies, and I am discussing this kind of range. It's always better to mention range, and in the end, you can mention that, like, I am open because in general I am looking in job offer like whole package. So it can be with salary, with tokens, let's say equity, what kind of growth opportunities it can be in the company, because I am looking for long-term partnerships.
Yeah, yeah. Usually, candidates sometimes have says a rate or their previous compensation, and they would say as well that if they are jumping to another job, they would be looking for the industry average rate of increase in salary. So obviously, the candidate has some leverage to negotiate. The companies also has some. What would you what would be the strategy that you would advise a candidate to do, for example, if he receive a lowball offer? So either it could be because the company doesn't really know about the precise market rate, or it could also be a leverage of negotiation, a bad one for the company. Uh, but what would you advise in that case, in a lowball offer case?
Mm, Sure. So here can be two situations. One situation, if like candidate was very desperate about the job and he doesn't have any other options, and now he has job offered, and he is thinking, should I accept, or is it matching my, let's say, basic needs from the salary?
Mhm.
Because then you don't have so many options. But if candidate is having some options, and maybe he is looking on this company based on, let's say, if I can grow, if I can earn some skills, even if I will have less salary in job offer, I will be still okay. So then what you need to do, let's say if you want still to negotiate, you can mention, hey, as per my salary expectation that I mentioned in the beginning, and also I bring to the table, for example, DeFi expertise or meme or DAO contributions, or like you have very solid personal brand and you can bring a lot of value to the company, then you can mention those moments. You can also mention that maybe like you're having few other job offers. Maybe you don't have them, but still you can fake it until you will make it.
Yeah.
It's not good, but like if in case if it's like super bad offer and you want to do something with this, you can try. Although I always suggest to have honest feedback. Then you can also prepare some specific examples of your achievements that aligns with company goals, very important. And also you can research in general company token economics roadmap to understand long-term picture. But I will give you the example of really long-term people who are planning to stay in this industry and build something sustainable, and they are looking to earn skills. For example, when I joined my previous recruitment firm, I didn't have big salary. Like for Dubai market, it was not super big salary, but I knew that I will gain some experience. I will have access to amazing founders, VCs. I will have very good database. And just in 3 years, I opened my own agency in Web3 space. When I moved to Dubai, my English level, like now it's still okay, but that time it was almost zero. So I really appreciate that company gave me that chance to work with them, and that in first 6 months I already onboarded like largest name in Web3 space. So, but now I can, I can do whatever I want. I can travel, I can make very good money. And I know a lot of folks who join projects like from Animoca Brands portfolio or projects from Polygon. A lot of them, they join even without salaries. And some folks, they mention, see, I really like your company. And I know that you have some challenges that you want new person to solve. Just tell me what kind of challenges you have. I can join company, let's say for 2-3 months without salaries, or you can pay me like internship salary. I will prove my work. If you like the work what I'm doing, then we can discuss job offer. But it was actually for C-level role. So you have a lot of different options. And if you can prove that really you can bring something to the table, then you can try this as well.
That's a lot of insight. Thank you. We'll be sharing as well. So you sent us a large PDF with a lot of tips when it comes to the Web3 career page that we'll be sharing with the community afterwards. So on our Telegram and as well website. So we are nearing the end of this AMA. Do you have any last tips to negotiate compensation for people who are actively job hunting?
Um, so I always suggest to be authentic. Like in general, if you
Yeah.
are planning to be in Web3 industry or any work that you're doing, if you want to escape competition, Naval Ravikant is saying the same, you should be authentic. You always need to think how you can be different from other people, because now we will have a lot of AI agents, etc. If you don't know how to use AI, then it will be very complicated for you, because people like founders, they will be looking for someone who knows AI tools. Then in general, you always, once you receive offer, like you always need to have, everything in writing: salary, tokens, equity, wasting schedule, benefits. Then you should always ask, let's say, smart questions like, when do my tokens vest? What is the company roadmap? Um, so because you need to understand what will happen with in the future, if they have any plans, if they have vision, because a lot of founders, they are just promising, but they are not delivering,
Yeah.
and you don't want to associate your name and reputation with this kind of founders. You always need to look for long term. Then you need to have some balance risk in negotiation between like stable fiat salary and along with crypto perks. You also need to understand what is happening with market. It's why build your network, let's say recruiters, founders, with job boards, so that you will have access to right data. Uh, it's good if you have option to have 1, 2, 3 crypto lawyers who can check your contract
Yeah.
and tell you if it's like all those numbers are real or not. And always do your homework, check about founders' reputation, about their track record, if they did some really solid projects or maybe they had some scam or failed projects. Because if they did few meme projects, scam projects, most probably maybe this project will be also the same.
Well, thanks a lot, Zhanna, for sharing your expertise on salary negotiation in Web3. I do agree. If you are in active job hunting, do research about the project and the token. It's very unique to this space. It's a double-edged sword often, so be careful with this. So if you guys enjoyed today's AMA, let's stay connected. Do follow us on X at Unicast AI for future updates on upcoming AMAs, our token, career resource, and insight. We also have obviously the job board, t.me/unicast jobs to explore the latest Web3 jobs opportunity. We'll share as well all the social of Zhanna and Jaya Talent for anyone looking to connect. And we'll share as well our PDF with a lot more tips and insight about the Web3 career space. So we're excited to bring you more AMAs with industry experts in the future. So keep an eye out for upcoming announcements. And if you have any suggestion for upcoming guests, don't hesitate to reach out directly on Telegram. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you, Zhanna, and we'll see you at the next AMA.
Yeah, thank you everyone for having me. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. Cheers.